Hello, this is the Ocean Swagger. Please excuse the hair and stuff. I have been in the great outdoors. And did put on some eyeliner for you though. But really, it's been beautiful weather here. And I was out enjoying it. So I don't have my usual equipment. We've been moving some stuff around. I have the chance, I have had a storage unit that's been draining my money for a while, but I didn't have any way to empty it. But that way has happened, so I am busy doing that. So things are going to get rearranged. And you might see some changes, but it's all good. And I will tell you about my good experiences for this Mercury retrograde. And why am I having good experiences? Why do I pretty consistently now have pretty good Mercury retrogrades? Well, as I've said before, they can be good. I mean, you can actually use Mercury retrograde if you know how. You just have to be aware of what it is, what it does. Okay, and then you can have a fine Mercury retrograde. Not that you won't still have the physical issues. Oh, yeah, there'll be some of those. But your other rewards can be many. So, no problem. This one is going very well for me. And I am really glad to see some of you around that I haven't seen since the last Dagon retrograde, maybe or beyond. So you're able to find me. That's really heartening. There have been a lot of changes in our realm that are also heartening and some that are pretty scary. And I understand that. We'll be talking about some of that and more. I've got my cards, my pendulum, and my candle burning. And if anybody wants to ask about this sort of thing, we can do that. If not, I'll just kind of rattle on about what's been on my mind. And, you know, you can just see it whenever you want to. I'll leave it up, it'll be in the archives. Okay, now, first of all, I want to say hi, I'm the Ocean Swagger of the Ocean's Deep Woo. And what we do here is Deep Woo. It's very wooey. We we have some we kind of approach things differently here. We don't approach things as if maybe, might, sort of, could it be that this could happen and be and actually be real. Actually, the truth is, most of us are experiencers. And if you're attracted here, it was, well, once again, my equipment. My equipment is a little weird right at this time. I'll be switching the camera pretty soon, though, so let's hope it holds up good enough for the moment. Anyway, we believe that stuff happens, okay? Most of us are experiencers here. If you're also an experiencer, this is probably a good place for you because you're going to be with other people who have been through stuff, okay? And that's pretty much what this is about. And if you haven't experienced anything, oh, hi, Junking Data Girl. If you haven't experienced anything paranormal, that's okay too. And you're just curious. That's fine. Okay. But here it's just a given for most of us that paranormal phenomena exists. And when experiencers come along, and almost always I run into them and they believe that they're the latest one that I'm going to talk about is worried about what could happen to her if she tells anybody about her experience. This is typical. Experiencers don't usually it's rare that anything good comes of it from them from this experience. So please, if you are listening and you are going to comment, be kind to anybody who is an experiencer, or we will surely take care of you in a heartbeat. Don't be cruel. This is more common than anybody wants to believe. And I mean every single type of paranormal. Everything from hauntings to cryptids, that's like Bigfoot and stuff, to ghosts and UFOs and just strange things that look like glitches in the Matrix. Now, me personally, I believe in a Matrix Earth. It could look like anything. That's my belief. I'm with Elon and a lot of other very smart people. Hey, Denali, how you doing? Yeah, I'm with Elon and a few other smart people. This is probably a Matrix. This almost has to be a Matrix. There's so many things going on to just prove that it is. Right, experiencers. Yeah, and all of us have had to go through our trials for being an experiencer. So I can't blame this poor woman who is afraid to speak up. She's afraid that they'll think she's crazy and they're going to take her baby. So she doesn't want to come on the show. She doesn't want to talk about it. I offered it. But she was referred by a friend, and I will talk about her. And the thumbnail you see is one of her photos that she will allow me to show you. And we'll go into that pretty soon. And of course, this is Ohio. Yeah, if this is exactly, Denali, if this is a holographic universe, then who's creating the hologram? Hello, we are, okay? And all of the junk in our heads. Once we start to get all that junk out of our heads, we can create it in a much finer way, okay? That's the main thing. That's what we're doing here. That's why we're here, okay? So I am going to do my usual disclaimer. Nothing I say is meant to treat or diagnose anything. This is for entertainment purposes only. And it has absolutely nothing to do with real life, which happens outside the Matrix. Because as I said, I believe that we're in the Matrix. So, that being said, if you can handle all that, you're in the right place. Or if you're just curious, just hang around. Maybe you will find out something. So, making room for magic with a K. Yeah, that's right, Denali. Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera around because it's kind of hard to hold it this way. Like I said, I don't have my usual equipment. I don't know where it went. We just moved a bunch of stuff from my storage unit. I have been waiting 3 years to get this stuff moved. It was supposed to be moved right away, and it wasn't because COVID happened and people disappeared and couldn't go out and we had lockdown, all that stuff. Okay, so 3 years I've been waiting to get this stuff and paying $50 on it, 50 some bucks on it a month, and hoping that I can find some way to get it moved. And I couldn't find any way to get it moved that I could afford anyway. And it's draining me of money. So I'm saying, okay, I need to do this. And something did show up during the Mercury retrograde of all times. And it worked perfectly. Okay. Things worked out just perfectly. Somebody needed a little bit of cash. They had a big trunk. And the rest is history, and they helped me get it in. The timing was good. My helper was here to help me integrate it, and life is good. I'm glad that I did. However, there were some things that are worse for wear after 3 years of being in storage in a unheated locker, shall we say. Somehow, some of my food got in there, uh, and I wondered what happened. I just thought maybe it got thrown away or something. But no, apparently some of it was put away and put mistakenly, instead of reaching my kitchen, into the storage bin. Fortunately, it was an airtight container. You should have seen the mess we found in there. Stuff was exploded. There were, dead things in there, and that was almost a total loss. But everything else that I put away in the storage bins that I chose is almost like the day that I put it in there. So I'm very fortunate for that. Nothing got in, nothing came out. Everything's pretty much turning out to be fine. And I really count this all a blessing that I can finally, it's not quite done yet. We got to make at least one more trip. Almost over though. And this is going to be 50 extra bucks a month for me. So, yeah, it was a science experiment, exactly. And I mean, I lost a lot of supplements in that too, because there were supplements and stuff in there too. It was basically a big chunk of my kitchen was in there that I wondered what happened to it. That's what happened to it. But, and if it had come here right away, it would have been just fine. But it didn't. So, and you know what? This just points up the fact that because there was no life in any of the, I mean, everything in there was dead. Where did it come from? It came from the food. I hate to tell you, but the vermin had to have come from the food. That's the only way it could have gotten in. So I hate to say it, but what was that stuff lurking in our food? Well, they have told us that Satan was going to put the maggots of GMO fruit flies in fruit and vegetables for some supposedly to breed them down to where they were, less harmful or reproduce less, or some stupid goofy thing that they already knew wouldn't work, but somebody was paying for it, so they did it anyway. They already knew this wasn't going to work. Insects spring back faster than anybody. As far as reproducing, nobody beats them, okay? Except maybe bacteria. So that was totally bullshit. Uh, pardon my French. Hey, Marilena, how you doing, babes? You're still feeling horrible. Oh, I'm feeling great, oddly. Do I? Is there an angel by my head? Oh, cool. Well, I'm looking in the camera, so maybe I can't see it, but I feel like there is somebody with me. So, anyway, I'm so happy that I'm getting this done. This is 50 bucks, but once again it proves to me what they put in our food. It's like our food is designed to be. There is no way, if everything else was perfect, because they must have lived a little while, just maybe from the tiny bit of air that was in there. And then of course we had a couple of cold winters, they would have died. But just stuff exploding, food cans exploding and stuff in there. it was just such a freaking mess, horrible mess. And this was interesting though. Um, it was threatening rain for part of the day. It was overcast. But while I was out yesterday, it was beautiful. And I will describe that experience pretty soon. Um, actually, yeah, I'll go into what the day was like. Like I said, Mercury retrograde has been excellent to me, but I know that some people are oh having other reactions to it. Oh, I'm sorry, Marilena. Oh, we're going to have to do some things about that, okay, Mary? We'll take care of it. Sally, who's Sally? I don't know who Sally is, but if there is a someone named Sally, we'll say hi to Sally. We'll take care of it somehow. The reflection to the right, which would be my left, I think, on here, looks like an angel on my shoulder. It's interesting because one of the things I'm going to talk about is reflections. Okay, so how interesting. Okay, I had to read back to get that. Mhm. Yeah, I love you, dear. Okay, it's tilted for me, so this looks so wrong. But I'm just if you can see me and I look okay to you, and it doesn't look and I've got an angel on my shoulder. Um, that's fine with me. Okay, first I'm going to tell you about what happened yesterday. Um, I get woke up with a phone call, and my friend Jason, who you've seen, says, he tells me about his car woes, but that he's got a new car that he's driving because his old car lost a wheel in the middle of an intersection. Fortunately, he wasn't harmed. However, dig this, the police towed it away. He called his insurance company to tow it for repairs, but the police got there first and hauled it away. Had it hauled to an impound lot. Now, if you've ever had that happen, you know how expensive impound lots are. And honestly, it was horrible, except his insurance did offer him, of course, a car to use in the meantime, which is a pretty nice car, and he's going to try and buy it. Although they're giving him some hassle about co-signing and all kinds of stuff. He was unemployed for about a year during COVID, and so they're giving him hassles about that, which they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Hello, David. And I still think he can go to a lawyer about some of this and should, because if he was in the process of getting his car towed to a shop and they towed it to the impound lot instead, seems to me like there could be some legal ramifications. There should be some legal ramifications. But that's beside the point right now. And that's something that he's going to have to deal with. Um, however, he had just he had given them a down payment on this car that was pretty much all he had. And he was calling me because he needed some money for work. And, it was like, do I need anything? Could he, he wanted to do something for maybe some gas money. Said, sure, I'll give you some gas money and it sounds like you're having a hard time. Why don't I also buy you a whole roast chicken? Nice rotisserie chicken at Myers. And, would that cheer you up? And he goes, sure, that's great. And I said, great, because what I need is I need my storage cleared out. I need one of my storage bins, the small one. It's the only one I can really clear out right now, but that's $50 extra. I'll have a month if I can clear that out. So I'd be glad to front you some money, give it to you. I'll give it to you right up front. I'll give you the money right up front, which is more than some of his friends will do. Sometimes he has to, and his mother, sometimes he has to chase them around to get them to give him what they say they're going to. I mean, people can be flaky as all get out. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So he said, I'm really hungry. I said, okay. Oh, greetings and favor to you too, by the way, David Castle. Hi, thanks for coming in. Yeah, so he says, I'm hungry. I said, sure, let's go. We'll go to, we'll go over to Myers. They got a little place to eat there. I bought us each a rotisserie chicken. I said, here's your chicken. Here's also some corn, which we microwaved right in the husk. I know some people have a microwave thing, but it's like once in a while. I don't think this is going to kill you. I microwaved some sweet corn right there in their microwave. About 7 minutes in the microwave in the husk, and you've got sweet corn. Okay, cooked sweet corn. And he was really happy to have it. Okay, and so and the money and some gas money, and so he was all happy again. And so next thing we went and we went to my storage and found out that yes, his car is this new car is great for holding stuff. So it just was perfect. And we got it back, and just as we were coming back, it was right around the time that my helper showed up and she could help us integrate the whole thing. Everything was flowing very smoothly. Now, take it. This is a Mercury retrograde. But what have I said is like, ever since I have adopted the thought that Mercury retrograde can be useful and can actually be kind to you and can be helpful, it has been getting more that way all the time. And this time it really was. I mean, there's been other things going on too, like that. So it really can be a good time if you know how to work it. Now, I haven't always worked it right. I mean, I can't say that every one of them has been like this, but this has certainly been a good one. But by the same token, some people are still struggling during this one. I think this has something maybe to do with their astrology. Anyway, I grabbed some strawberries and made some homemade whipped cream, and he'd never had homemade whipped cream. And so he was like really delighted with some strawberries and whipped cream. So it turned out to be, that was like a little thank you for helping me so much with this project. And he's going to he's going to go back and get the rest of it, maybe sometime this week. So I'm thrilled. This is finally going to be over. And the next stage is going to be integrating it with my stuff and getting rid of a lot of stuff, probably. Chances are I now have doubles and triples of some things. I'm going to have to look through it. But it's great that I'm going to have, what did I ask for? Now, this is an example right here. This is an example of, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Marlon. Hang on. What do you think you got poisoned from? Do you think it was something you ate or something you drank or something else? Oh, thank you, David. I will certainly love to see them, and we will certainly talk about them in upcoming shows. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. I need an air purifier too. But I'm fortunate because I live near a forest and a bog, and it tends to strain out a lot of the junk that they're throwing. And I will tell you the story about the sky. Mary, you can clear this. I will help you clear this. I will help you clear it. My helper, she didn't really believe very much what can be done, but then she saw it. She saw me, with the help of my helpers, clear the sky of those nasty sky streaks. It can be done, and I will show you how to do it. Okay? You don't have to put up with that. You don't have to have that. I got a message recently that I've been getting a message. The elementals want to get in touch with you. It's true. They did want to get in touch with me. They had some things that I had to know. Well, I wanted to tell you the end of this story. After we ate, we went, he decided he wanted to go to the park, and I said, thank you. I really want to go to a park. And we went to Plum Creek, and if you've been watching, you've seen Plum Creek. I used to do ceremonies there all the time. It's a stone amphitheater there, and I used to do ceremonies there a lot. And I'm sure they kind of miss me, the elementals there. And those stones were just like, oh, we're so glad to see you. And I felt it the moment that I sat down and started meditating. I told him, and Jason hasn't seen very much of this yet either. But I said, Jason, the wind's going to pick up a little. Don't worry about it as I do this. It made him a little uncomfortable. So he went off on a walk, and that's okay because it left me alone sitting there able to make a connection. And as soon as I made the connection, everything turned day glow green. All of the leaves on the trees and everything were this beautiful, like somebody switched on a black light and everything was painted in day glow green. And I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. And I made my connection and I sang my song, which is the song about I Send My Roots Down, that one. Um, and I could tell the wind was picking up and everything was just like getting into position. And I was, sending love and I was feeling love. And it was just great. And we did a little ceremony for Jason too to try and help him beat some stuff that's going on in his life, some of what I told you. And hopefully that's going to help. But it seems like it is helping already because as soon as he was done helping me, he got another call that somebody else needed some help and they were willing to pay him some money to help him. So It seemed like it probably did work. So he was happy about that. And he's still not sure he believes it all yet, but he's happy. So we'll see what happens in the continuing saga. Okay. And yeah, don't worry. We can do something about it. We can do something about all this. We have friends. We have friends who dwell in the stars. We have friends who accompany us here in our earth walk. We have friends. We're fine. We have the ones that we call the angels. And if you want to call them that, that's fine. They don't care what you call them. They exist to serve. That is their whole existence, is to serve. So they don't care what you call them. Okay, so we had a wonderful time. When I concluded that, I felt I had more energy than I've had in a long time. I mean, I was feeling it that I was doing a lot, but I had more energy. I was going from 9 till 8 doing stuff, which is really unusual. You know, it's unusual for me not to take a nap in there somewhere. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more work with that. Now today, on the other hand, today I slept almost the whole day. It was like I made up for it today. But yesterday I managed to get stuff done, which I needed to do. So I'm so grateful for that. Okay, so I'm going to be trying to take the camera. I will take my phone out and next chance I get and see if I can get some a video out at the park at some point. Maybe I will be able to talk Jason into taking me out or something. Anyway, sky streaks. That's what I'm calling them. Boys in sky streaks. Okay. That's an elemental thing that will help you there. And you especially, Mary, will be able to ask for this help and get it. Okay? You will be able to ask for this and get it, I'm pretty sure. You sing, and our voice is a vibration. So when you sing, you are doing something. It's not simply something to do. You are creating a vibration. And one of the first songs that I was taught to sing to clear the sky streaks was, okay, this is exactly what I did the first time I did this. I will give you the steps. Are you listening? First, it came to me that this is an unnatural thing that was happening. And how do we clear things that are not natural? With nature. Nature will trump the other crap, okay? It will. Okay, nature wins. I'm sorry, it does. I'm not sorry. Nature beats all. It just will. It's the way the place is made. Okay, so given half a chance, and especially with our will added to that, Nature beats all, okay? So don't worry. We're going to beat all this. Us and nature, we're partners, okay? And the elementals are very strong, and they'll help if you ask and if you show them love. They have personalities not quite like ours, a consciousness not quite like ours, but a consciousness nonetheless. And they are happy to help you if you get on their good side. I mean, if you just show them love, they will help you. And, you know, magical people from all over know this. I'm sure. I'm not, you know I'm not one of the first to come up with. Hey, Freedom Grower. Hi. Yes, the elementals are very strong and they're here to help. And don't think for a minute that you can't do it. If you're on good terms with them, they will grow. Your flower is huge. They will literally move. They'll move mountains for you. The earth ones will actually literally move things, change things for you. The little cloud spirits, they sound like children. They're so cute. They know I love them. I love them. I even feel the pulling of my heart right now to them. I get a tear in my eye. They're so sweet. You can connect with the little cloud beings and they will definitely help you if you love them. Okay? Same with the water and the earth and the air. So, Mary, what I'm going to tell you is connect with the Earth Mother and connect with the Sky Father and connect with the elementals around you. Go out into nature while you can on a day that's, where you know that the sky streaks are going to happen. Oh, yeah, gnomes and undines and sylphs and salamanders, all of them. Yes, yes, the all of them. You can. Um, Let me see what's being said here. If you've lost any galactic beings, they are probably here in my neighborhood. We've had them 29 out of the last 53 days. I haven't seen any of them around here yet. But then again, I've seen the elementals have been around real strong. So maybe I'm supposed to be working with them right now, and that's okay with me. I'm cool with it. It happens when it happens. It happens when it needs to happen. So here's what you do. You connect with them. And then I thought to myself, well, what would be a natural vibration? Our voices are a natural vibration because the birds were singing. And I thought, the birds, that's right. The birds are a natural vibration. The frogs, the little peepers, bring a natural vibration. That could do it. That could strengthen this. So I invited all my brothers and sisters, anybody who wanted to help, any good being that was willing to help with this process, to clear the sky streaks over my neighborhood because it looked like a freaking road map. I got off the bus, I looked up in the sky. It looked like a road map up there. I'm like, okay, I am done with this. I'm done with this. What will clear this? And it came to me, natural vibrations, the vibrations of nature, and our friends, the elementals. They wait for you to tell them what needs to be done. Their consciousness is different. They have some programs that they run on a regular basis, but they really often rely on us to tell them what needs to be done. Sometimes they forget. I mean, especially little cloud spirits, they're so playful and sweet that they forget to make rain sometimes. They're supposed to rain. Oh yeah, we're supposed to rain. Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, sure, we'll do that. They're happy to. They just forget. They just get so busy, just like we do. So I just got a jolt from that. It's like, okay, okay, we understand. Yes, yes, we slack sometimes. We don't mean to. Anyway, the thunder beings are different though. They're more yang. Boy, this room is filling up. If you see any phenomena around here, I'm not going to be surprised. This room is filling up as I'm talking about the elementals and my helpers. They're all over the place right now. I can feel them. I can't see them right now, but I can sure feel them. They're here. Okay. So the next thing I did is I started to sing, and I actually sang Three Little Birds, Bob Marley, you know, because it was the most positive song I could think of at the time. Is don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be all right. And I was thinking, anybody who wants to help me clear up these poison sky streaks. We don't need this. This isn't right. This isn't natural, and we are rejecting this. This is going to be gone. By my will, as a designer of the Matrix and a co-creator, I will that this is not going to happen. This is not going to be over my head. Everybody who agrees, get with me on this. And you know what? I started seeing those lines turning into dashes. And then I saw the spaces between those dashes getting wider and wider. And pretty soon, it was like holes were getting shot in them all over the place. Pretty soon, they were gone. They were gone. And the road, it looked like a freaking road map. They were gone. No, they didn't just spread out and turn into that stupid silvery mist that blocks out the sky. They were gone, and there was a beautiful blue sky, and the birds were singing, and I was just walking home feeling great, like, yay, we did it. We're doing this. We're really doing this, okay? So this is 100% possible, Mary, and I know you can do it. And if you can't, if for some reason something is holding you back from it, I will help you do it. Okay? I will help you get rid of that. And then we're going to ask also to get rid of whatever is in you right now. We're going to ask that you be cleared of any kind of poisons or toxins that got into you at this time, that somehow you be given just the right circumstances to get that out of you, or that somehow that leaves you. Okay? And any of my brothers and sisters and good beings that concur with that, please help Mary get this out of her and affect this change over her area as well. So then my helper was here one time, and I went out to sit down and we went out together for a little bit of air and sun, and she didn't know whether or not to believe any of this that I say. I mean, she never quite knows what to think of what I do, but she's willing to keep an open mind, you know. So I look up and I see the sky streaks, and I say, I got to get rid of those. Here they are again. And I said, you're going to feel the wind pick up. Sure enough, it did. And her eyes got kind of like, oh, yeah, it is. Whoa. And then I did my meditation where I send my roots down and I send my branches up. And I did the same thing. I said, anybody who wants to join me in this, let's get rid of these things. They aren't supposed to be here. And they started clearing, and she saw it with her own eyes. The streaks that started on the other side, they were still there over in the next, I guess it was the next county over. And on the other side, they were still there. But over us, over my area, cleared completely up. And then we noticed that there was a jet going overhead. And this, I'm not kidding, the streak that had started over there as it came into my territory, it couldn't do it. It couldn't do it. And she watched with her mouth open, going, I said, they can't do it now. I'm too strong. We're too strong now. They can't do it. Look at that. And she just looked, and all you could see was a normal contrail behind it. But you could see where it had been making a streak on the other side there. It's like, so my area was totally clear. And that, she just couldn't deny that. That was her own eyes. And since then, she's been a lot more open to things. She kind of believes that maybe I might be able to do almost anything. You never know. Watch her, she might do something. Right? And she's pretty sure that I'm also a good person. So, Linda. Hey, Linda, how you doing? Cool. Yeah, hit that like button. And if you haven't done it already, please hit the bell and say all. Press all so that you get all the notifications. And if you're not getting my notifications, please hit that thing, and you can unsubscribe and resubscribe. Some people find they have to do that in order to find me. It's a bother. But anyway, yeah, some people need to see to believe, and she saw. She's seen a lot of things happen. She needed a car. She got a car. She got a car for exactly the price she needed it to be and exactly what she wanted, and it hasn't given her any trouble. It's given her absolutely no trouble since she got it. And at first she was like, oh yeah, did you like do something so I'd get this car? Boy, it was so weird. We walked in and it was exactly the right price, and it was a color I liked, and everything about it is just what I wanted, and I just couldn't believe it. Yeah. Did you like do something? And I said, well, you said you needed a car. And she looked at me like, she said, I was kidding. And I said, were you? She just looked at me like, this was early on. Just looked at me like, wait a minute. I said, you said you needed a car, didn't you? I said, don't worry, you'll get one. It's like I can't have you walking everywhere when you need to, you need a car to live. So, to get to your job and stuff, you need a car. So you got a car. Are you happy? Yes. Okay, great. Because she wasn't sure that it was not evil. She was still in that mindset that this could be something evil. That when I'm seeing spirits, they could be evil. They could all be evil. No, no. I can tell. How can you tell they're not evil? Well, how can you tell people are not evil? It's the same thing. How can you tell people are okay? Well, she believes now. She's getting there. She's getting there. Yeah. Some people, they just need to experience it. Speaking of experience, we have a new experiencer. She is afraid to come forth because, and Jason found her. Somehow this person just suddenly out of the blue had to come up to Jason and tell him her story and felt safe to talk to him about this. And she hadn't spoken to anybody of it. And Jason said, "That's okay. I know somebody exactly who knows what this is all about, who can help you out with this. So don't worry." Um, so he says, "I'll talk to my friend." And she says, "Good, ask her what she says about all this." It's like, okay. And so he showed me the pictures. And like I said, um, oh, clearing the sky off, and this one took you by sneaky means. Oh, maybe it's not the sky streaks that are getting you. I'm kind of with Denali. That may be somebody. We'll check into that. We'll check into that. Okay, so anyway, what we were getting into is the experiencer. And yes, I offered her some time on the show. She didn't want to come on. She is terrified that somebody is going to take her baby. That she's going to, if she says anything to anybody, they're going to call her crazy and take her baby. Is that horrible? That's horrible. I'm going to send you some energy, by the way, Mary. I don't know who Sydney is, but oh, but I got to finish the show before I go into it. Before I go into meditation and do all that. I'm sorry, I got to finish the show. Um, so this woman, like so many experiencers, I mean, experiencers constantly get thrown under the bus in this society. It's true. Uh, all kinds of negative things have happened to experiencers simply because they dared to tell the truth. It's sick. And it's something that we've got to clear. But it's gradually clearing up. Remember, only the stupider ones are left of the parasites. Smarter ones took off because they know it's just about over. They left the minions in charge, and look how ridiculous. How ridiculous they are. How stupid they are. The minions that are left are absolutely freaking idiots. I mean, look at them. Who can even look at this and take it seriously? Like I can't even believe it myself. And I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot, but I never saw anything as stupid as this crap we got now, right? And really, it has to be that way because there are still people who haven't come out of the trance, who haven't awakened from the hypnosis, haven't snapped out of it, and they're still buying the line, and they still haven't got it yet. They haven't figured it out yet. They haven't quite been shocked enough to come out of the trance yet, right? They're going to need some pretty hard shocking. They're going to need, it's funny because I say one of my little tips for when you bring produce in from somewhere, always shock it. And, I tell my helper, well, shock it. And, tell them that their granddad worked for Hitler or something, or maybe tell them they're adopted. And then she laughs. But no, what I mean, she knows what I mean is put it in hot water first for just a bit, just long enough just long enough to help kill whatever's on there and get the any oily residue, especially if you can't get organic. Okay, that helps get the oily residue off, and it helps if it has vinegar in it to help cut the oily residue. Okay, of the crap that they spray all over this stuff. So, do that. But even if you've got organic, this will help prolong the life of your produce. First, if it is something that's not too delicate for this, now some things are too delicate, but if it will withstand it, plunge it into hot water first, not boiling, but hot, and then immediately after a few seconds into cold. And this will kill, shock to death, most microorganisms that will be harmful, and also some other stuff, and will help get the oily residue off. And will help get the mold spores off, because glyphosate encourages mold. And that's mostly how your food goes. Okay, it's through mold and sometimes other little microorganisms. Also, if there's fruit flies on it, it's going to kill them. So, that's what you do. You need a shock. Well, I hate to say, but some of these people, to get the parasites off them, they're going to need a shock bath. They're going to need a shock. Now, if you give yourself a shock bath, if you give yourself a shock in the shower, if you have a nice warm shower and then all of a sudden turn on the cold water towards the end, between 5 seconds and 5 minutes, as cold as you can stand, you are going to shock your body into killing off old cells and creating new ones. So if you want to rev up your metabolism and rev up your production, turn over your cells, especially your blood, your skins, etc. Try that. It's good for you. So basically, there's my little health aside. My health has been increasingly better since I've been doing several things. And some of you know what I've been doing. And I got to say, my energy is coming back bit by bit. I'm getting it back. If I ever get my full energy back, nobody will be able to follow me. You'll be hard pressed to keep up with me if I ever get it all back. And I'm going to say when. Okay, when I get it all back. Yeah. Yeah, the inmates taking over the asylum. That's exactly what's going on most of the time. It's like crazy. Yeah, weak solution of hydrogen peroxide. Yeah, that too. That'll work too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot is going to be needed to help them wake up, because they are hard sleepers. What can I say? There's no denying that. As a matter of fact, what I'm getting from our star brothers and sisters is that they can barely believe that people are still sleeping through this. They thought that surely before now, people would all have gotten the memo. But they're like, what is it going to take? It's going to take some extreme measures. I agree. It is going to take some extreme measures. I've tried to talk to some of these people myself. Holy moly. I can't believe there are people that are sleeping through this still. How can you? The alarm is blaring. It's like, what do we have to do? And then after they wake up, there's going to be a horrible shock. Going to be a horrible shock. It's 10:03 here. It's going to be so shocking that they're going to have to somehow, some of them, I don't know, they're probably going to be a puddle. They're probably going to be a wreck mentally, emotionally, to realize that everything that they have been told is a lie. How did you feel when you first started to realize that everything? We've been at this a while. We already went through this. Wait a minute. What if everything was a lie? What if it was all bogus? What if it was all made up? What if everything is made up? Does that mean everything? Is that, and then you go down a rabbit hole or two and you realize there is no end. There is no end to what has been perpetrated. And when you first realize, like I remember the first time I realized somebody was playing around with time, and I accidentally said it to my husband. I shouldn't have, my ex now. And I realized afterwards I shouldn't have said anything. I said, my God, you know what this means? They somehow can play with time. And then I realized I shouldn't say that to him because of the way he looked at me. And it's like you're really fucking crazy now. Okay, but I'm not, because if time travel ever exists, then it always exists because it is basically altering time, right? So if ever it exists, it always exists. We must assume it exists. Some people will fight you to the death on this one. They'll die on that hill. I don't really give up. You know what? I don't give a rat's patootie. Nope. What you think? You're going to have to get over that. Hey, Gemini. How you doing? Yeah, some people didn't get the memo till after 30. I know, till after 50, till after. Some didn't get the memo until long after that. Some people are just now getting it in their. Wow, I'm seeing on my screen right over my third eye, there's something. I don't know if you guys can see it, but my third eye has a red gem right there. Okay. It looks like maybe it's just a speck on the screen, but somehow it's glowing red. I don't know why it would be. But yeah, when I put my head in a different way, it just disappears. Okay, don't know what's going on, but that sure was interesting. We are getting some pretty cool phenomena here, folks. Stay tuned. You never know what else you might see. Okay, so on the thumbnail that some tore up their memo. Yeah, right, Denali, you're so right. Some just got that memo and said, and tore it up. I don't like this. No, can't be. Just tore it up. Well, okay. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay. Ah, yeah. Don't shoot the messenger, please. I'm just trying to tell you. Or labeled it return to sender. And then ask their guides for advice. Or ask somebody like me for advice. And then I'd tell them and they'd just look at me. Seriously? Yeah, seriously. And then they go to the next reader because they didn't want that reading. I knew there were people like this. When I was on the psychic fair circuit, there were people who would just go from reader to reader trying to get a different reading. You could tell. And when you talk to the readers, it's like, they didn't like your reading, right? No, they didn't. Yeah, because you told them something they didn't want to hear. Yeah. Hmm. So did I. And so what does this do? This weeds out all the good readers, you know, and sends you to a quack. They end up at a quack who tells them what they want to hear, and then they get lavishly rewarded for that and never get the truth. And that's the way that it is with some. What can I say? Saw it happen. Saw it happen. The other thing I saw happen that really might surprise people and made me laugh is when we'd get a break, when we'd have a lull, when there weren't hardly any people around, all of the readers would get up and go to another reader and exchange readings because they wanted to know what the bleep was going on with them too, because we're so busy reading for everybody that we sit there and sometimes wonder what the bleep is going on with us. What anything new you can tell me about? I was one of them. I would always exchange readings with people. I don't hardly have time to see my own self, right? So, this was very common. So, one of my favorite jokes, psychic jokes, is one psychic meets another psychic on the street and says, "You're fine, how am I?" Okay. But I know. If you're not, but it's psychics usually laugh at that one. I can kind of tell who's experienced this and who has not. So anyway, onto the picture. In the thumbnail, you will see. Oh dear, I'm doing it again. I gotta gather my energy in a little bit here. Okay, in the thumbnail to this video, you'll see a picture that this woman sent. And it is, at first I didn't see anything, and then I said, I don't see anything too weird here. Right off, what am I looking at? And she goes, look off to the right. And she says, black clothes with nobody in them. Oh, there it is, like half a shadow person in the frame. And she swears that nobody saw that there when that picture was snapped. She was just taking a picture of something out out back, out the window, out the back window, because the dogs and cats react, you know. Well, her cat was reacting to something. So she took a picture out back, and on the right side of the frame, sure enough, there's what looks like a hooded black figure standing there. And she said to her, it looks like clothes with nothing in them. And it scared the living daylights out of her. And they had the cat reacting, would turn into a big ball of fluff a lot. And they also have another one of the baby, and they don't want me to show, that has the white mist over its head, and also spoke of that for fun, what they would do to grandma just to have a little fun is use the TV remote outside the window and change channels on her just to piss her off and mess with her. And she has passed on. And at one point, the TV channels just started changing for no reason, and the TV wasn't even on. All of a sudden, the TV comes on and the channels start changing, just like what they did to her. And you could also see She says she saw a ghost in the reflection of her television. That's a widescreen television, big screen television. And but this white ectoplasm was actually ectoplasm over the baby's head in the photo. It was very clear to me what was going on. Grandma was trying to save the baby from what was going on with this from this shadow person. Now listen to what happened. She realized, and she already took care. I said, "This woman needs help. If this is what's going on, Grandma's trying to protect the baby, and she needs help with a shadow person." And so it turns out that she had bought a mirror from an antique shop. Oh my gosh. How many times have we heard this kind of story? You guys have heard this before. I know you have. Yes, I know you have. We have heard so much of this. And I bought it from an antique store, and it just seemed like everything started then. Yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. Oh, yes. If that thing has an attachment, if that thing's cursed, if it has an attachment, oh, yes, things will start. And you brought it right into your home without checking it out. And you have got to clear this stuff if you're going to keep it. And then you know what she did? She gave it away to somebody else, right? Oh, here, you take it. And then everything stopped. I would hate to be the person she gave it to. Well, she was right. It was that object because the phenomena stopped. But how ethical is that, really? Ah, good. Yeah. Um, and the letter V. Hmm. Yeah, mirrors are not necessarily mirrors. Right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. And people don't know to do this. People don't know to do that because we have been dumbed down and we have been told by science that this stuff doesn't happen. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter. It's just bullshit. And I'm like, they're just acting like this. You know what? So many experiencers, so much phenomena, and still they close their eyes to it. It disgusts me, frankly. But they're getting more open. They're beginning to get there, but not fast enough. Anyway, so she didn't really need the help immediately, but she wanted to hear what I said. And basically, she had already figured it out. But she is still afraid that if she tells the wrong person, that she's going to end up being called crazy and lose her baby, lose custody of her child. And that's a real concern because there are some jerks that would do that to her, I'm sure. I mean, I've seen women lose custody for, I've seen parents lose custody for a lot of reasons. Yeah. Oh, your local Goodwill looks like a geriatric waiting room for all the dead in there. That's trapped in that's attached to their stuff. Oh my God. Marilena, we'll send you some help. I'm gonna send you some help when I end this show. And we love you. Yeah, people have to think of these things. Unfortunately, that is how society sees them. It's not fair. It's not right. We have to do something about that. We have to intend that that gets better because nobody should be afraid to get help when they need help. You know, this is terrible that she has to have that fear. But I'll tell you, it is getting better. I feel that it is. It can't. Okay, I'm just about to turn the camera around, and if anybody, does anybody have anything that they want to talk about or that they want to ask questions about? Or is there anything that you want me to check up on? Are there any news stories that you want me to use the pendulum on or the cards or anything like that? I'm here and willing to check into it. We've got some great minds here who can come up with some wonderful help. I mean, I know all of you are experiencers, all of you. You know a thing or two. You haven't been sleeping through this, right? And you all have insights. And I respect that. I respect that. Because I think it's been said before, experiencers get thrown under the bus all the time by people, other people. You know, people that will be right there next to you will deny it. And we got to take ourselves up and not allow ourselves to be thrown anymore. It's like, hell no. You're not going to sit there and tell me that you didn't see what you saw. Some of them maybe can't help it. I've seen people just change that they were so sure, and then they come up with some kind of an explanation that doesn't even make any sense, and they'll latch onto that rather than the truth. We've got to stop that. Okay, we've got to get it to the point where people realize that as I have, look, I love science. I hate the abuse of science, though. Science can be great, right? A wonderful thing. But when it's used to abuse people and when people abuse it, I don't like that. We could be going so much further without all of the BS. And we have gone further, I'm sure, and we're not hearing about it. Yeah, unfortunately, or fortunately for some of us, I guess we can look at the positive side. Some of us have already gone through all of this blather. We're past that point. I know who to speak up to and who not to. There are people I can say this right on, and I know how to say it. I put a preface on it. I put a disclaimer on it. If anybody tries to nail me down, I'm going to, for a bad reason, I'm going to say, well, were you entertained? But the truth is the truth. If you're not ready to hear it, you're not, though. There's only so much we can do about that. And at some point, we've got to let people be whatever it is that they are. You know, you can't you can't make them. As a matter of fact, if you try to make them see something, they'll fight you even harder. They've got to think it's all their idea. And once you've got them convinced that it is their idea, then you can work with them. So, that's my best advice. You can't convince somebody. Make them think that they came up with the idea, that they figured it out. Yeah, maybe that will work. Oh, yeah, they will redefine that word to be the physics of the metaverse, metaphysics. Right. Yes. Hey, Louis. Oh, cool. Define gravity. You know what? That sounds like fun. We should work on that. Now, Mary has told me, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but Mary has told me that she has started working on psychometry and has had success. Other people have mentioned having success with psychometry. And PK. PK, the psychometry is one of the first things. It's fairly easy. You pick up an object and read it. What impressions do you get? You say it, you write it down, whatever, and then you go and check on it and see what you get from it, right? Um, or some people just do psychometry for their own reasons. I want to know where this has been and what happened to it. Okay, it's interesting how some readers read that. That's the way they read psychometry. They hold an object and read it. So, well, a psychometry is you hold an object and get vibe from it and read it, and you can tell them who had it, usually what kind of person had it, what happened to it, what happened around it, you know, different things you can pick up from it. You can pick it up right from the vibration. Everything records a vibration. So painting Amber Heard's face green like the Wicked Witch of the West. Ah, okay. Yeah, and also, yeah, everything picks up vibration. That's why some of these standing stones and some of these monolithic stones, you get around them and you can feel something, something happened here. Sometimes you get a very eerie feeling. Maybe a bunch of people died there or something bad happened. Other places you'll get a whole different vibe. Some people will see a reenactment of the Civil War in certain places. It's like we've heard of that happening. I have seen a reenactment of the Kent State shootings on campus. So everything records, even us. Yeah, psychics use it can be used. Well, it can be used to find out things you wouldn't normally know. If you have an object that's been somewhere, you might be able to ask the object for information. What happened at this place? I can foresee maybe someday you could be a psychic detective. As a matter of fact, in one of my dreams, I was a psychic detective, and one of the things you could do was read the place and know something happened here. It was pretty hard to hide from me. Um, but the person who killed me in that life was a shaman, a negative one. Maybe I'll tell that story one day. What the tree had seen. So you were working on a piece of wood and you could see what the tree had seen. Yeah, I've done that. I've worked on stuff, and I've seen what I've seen what it. You know what? One time, the first time I got a hold of some pastured milk, that I could tell that the cows had been happy. For one thing, it was the sweetest milk I'd ever tasted, and I literally saw a pasture. I literally saw the pasture that the cow had been in. It's like, wow, I'm seeing the pasture. I'm also tasting it. It was very sweet because the grass there was very sweet. So, you can definitely do that. Oh, yeah. Yep. That's happened. When I was hiking, there would be some places I was hiking, particularly under this one bridge. There's a park under a bridge, and I swear it's built on monolithic stones. I think it's built on monolithic stones. It's a very dangerous bridge. They've since paved over it. There was something strange about this bridge. All of my time, all my childhood and some of my adulthood. It was a metal bridge and it would sway. And I'm now of an opinion that maybe we didn't build it. Maybe it's older than that. Because if you go into any of the mud flood stuff, you realize we dug out some of this stuff. We didn't build it. We dug some of this stuff out of the mud. But if you walk under there, I got the weirdest feeling and terrified. I was suddenly terrified for no reason, no particular reason. I was just terrified. When I got near those stones, and they were so big and so old, and I just got this overwhelming feeling that something really bad had happened there. So I don't know. Actually, I should look up the history. If I can find the history of that bridge, I may want to do a video about that at some point. Right. Yeah, you can see how the food was grown. Oh, really? I've lost things. Geez, I gotta do that. Finding keys by asking them where they are. Ask them where they are. Yeah, sounds good. Yep, know what you mean. Yep, that is a great skill for the days ahead. You bet it is. You go into a grocery store. I get pings. No, I find that I get pings. It's like, ping. Oh, that. I need some of that right there. Which one do I need? No, no. Yeah, yeah, okay. Right? Yep. We're going to have to develop that. Okay. Plus the PK. The PK is where you can move things. Mary said she's been able to do that. Move things with her mind. Somebody else was talking about that too. Moving things with their mind. They started to be able to do that. That may be another one that's coming in. I haven't tried it myself yet, but I think I may start trying to do that one, see if I can get that one tuned in. Yes. Hmm. Yeah, you come home with a basket full of stuff from the Asian market. Yeah. It'll just be ping. Yeah, I need some of that. And then you know what? It's like if I get that home, once I eat it, it's like, oh man, it tastes so good. It's like, oh, this is so good. I needed a roast chicken. You know what? This is cool. Myers near me. I'm there like I want a roast. It smells so good. It's like, I want a roast chicken. I want a roast chicken. I want a roast chicken. But I know they're probably not good chickens. But I go over there and no hormones, no antibiotics used. I'm like, seriously? $5.99 sold. So, I'm checking it. They had just been cooked. It's like, yes, come to me. And when you do something like that, and it's just like it tastes so good. There's been times like there was a while when I needed Kalamata olives. I needed Kalamata, specifically Kalamata. And I would taste them and they would taste so good. They would taste all these subtle flavors in there and they were delicious. And then that switched off and now they just taste kind of salty and oily. And for a while I had to have cranberry almond chicken salad. And then it just shut off. Stuff will do that to me. It'll be like, right now, you just ping, I really want that. And then I eat it for a little while. I'm crazy about it. And all of a sudden it just shuts off. Oh, well, that's over. And now I don't want it anymore and maybe never again. It's so weird, isn't it? Yeah, some of my other friends been saying they get that too. It's so weird. It's like sometimes I just gotta have something. Like one of my friends, Paul, said they almost never eat beef in his place. I mean, his wife cooks chicken or fish or something, but they don't really eat. But he looked at her and he said, I need beef. And she got a hold of some beef, and it was like the moment he put it in his mouth, it was like his very cheeks were trying to suck all the nutrients out of it. And it was the best beef he ever tasted in his life. And then after that roast was gone, that was it. He didn't need it anymore. He didn't ever get that urge anymore. And and he hasn't since. I mean, that was enough for him. And, it's like, gosh, somebody else has that. Oh, oh, a package of chicken. Yeah, it hurt bad. Oh, yeah, yeah, me too. There's been times when I've tasted something and gone, and it's something I know I like, and it's like, ew. And I get that, yeah, repulsion feeling. And then, yeah, salad for me. Yeah, exactly. I know that feeling. We should be paying attention to that. And I know sometimes our loved ones look at us like we're completely nuts. We got to do what we got to do, folks. We got to do what we got to do. Come on. Regardless. Free range chickens are not treated with, yeah, they're not always. Sometimes they're only allowed in a small pen outside for an hour. And the rest of their time, yeah, a lot of times they're mistreated too. So, yeah, you know what? And I'm going to say the brand name. if they want to get on my case. I don't think they'll see it though. But there was a brand that I had known was one of the absolute worst. Now I'm not going to say that. I want to get in trouble, but I knew they were one of the worst brands. And I would never, I mean, I used one time and I just hated it. I couldn't stand it. And then I saw it advertised as an American favorite for X amount of years. And not favorite in this house, right? But come to find out later, they were very much abusing their animals. Horrible ways. Ugh. I don't even want to go into it. It gives me the shivers. And it was like, so that's why it's why I always hated their stuff and would never buy it. I could never bring myself to eat any of that. That was, it's like, yuck, you know? So, yeah, you got to be mindful of that. And that's another thing. When people start getting that, how do you think they're going to react to their food? Probably some of them are thinking they're nuts because some of them are probably already reacting to their food not knowing why. They're already like, I don't know why I get this or that happen every time I get the runs every time I eat it or whatever. There is some stuff. Sometimes I will want to avoid it almost immediately if I'm not paying too much attention, and it will want to my body will want to get rid of it. That usually is what happens when I ingest something that is not good for me. My body will just say, ho ho, we're getting rid of this. Look out below, right? Um, right away. I mean, not time for food poison to set in even. So, yeah, it's like be aware of that. If it doesn't look good, if it doesn't smell good, there's been times, honestly, when the meat looked fine and it smelled okay, but when I had opened the package, the bubble packet, whatever the blister package is, or whatever it is, when I opened it, I smelled something that was a horrible stench. And it was like, oh, I'm careful. I'm more careful now. But it was like that was the way the air was in the packing plant. That place must be horrible. I mean, that's trapped air from the packing plant. Oh, it smells that bad. What was going on there? And what happened to the meat? Ugh. So you got to be careful and do use these things, honestly. Do not eat that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, really? Well, nobody knows that but birds. That really is for the birds. Yeah, well, the problem is what they do. I am careful what I feed my cat to. I won't make him eat stuff that is bad. I'm so sorry that I did was ignorant in the past. But there are some things you should definitely avoid in pet food. Besides the things you normally think of, there are code words in there. And I will tell you two of the worst ones, two of the grossest ones. One of them is Animal Digest, and I swear I looked at cat treats in Dollar Tree. It was very hard to find one that did not have Animal Digest in it. Animal Digest is literally poop. Do I want to feed my cat that? No. The other one is chicken byproduct, feathers, ground feather meal. And a lot of times they will get that by just grinding up baby chicks. It's disgusting. Newborn little baby chicks. Just grind them right up without a thought. No anesthetic, folks. Right, right. Yeah, they eat less. He eats like a couple bites at a time. Speaking of which, somebody was saying something about the cat and cat food. My little my little purr box is right here. My furry overlord. Yes, Mr. Mew. Your adoring audience is here. You're not gonna make a cameo? Well, he was up on the chair for a while, so I haven't turned the camera around, so he figures if he's not gonna get his cameo, he's gonna leave now. So yeah. And I found another food called Harmony. I found a food called Crave that doesn't have either of those ingredients, but almost everything on the shelves in the supermarket does, unless it's really expensive. Crave isn't that expensive. And I found a really good sale on it recently, so I'm happy about that. So I give him Crave and I give him Harmony, and they seem to be fairly safe without being horrifically expensive. So hopefully, but he's doing so much better than when I got him. He's actually slimmed down. He's got a lot more energy. He's just he's just doing better all the way around. Come here, baby. Mom will pet you. Come here. You can get petted while I do this. It's okay, sweetie pie. You lonely? Sometimes he'll just get lonely. You know what he'll do? There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with the box. Nothing wrong with his food. Nothing wrong with the water. He's fed. He's not hungry. What does he want? I say, show me. What do you want? He looks up at the bed. He wants me to go up on the bed and pet him. He's just lonely. What do you want, baby? You think that it's nighttime, so mommy should be in bed playing on her phone and petting you, because that's his favorite time. Mommy is looking at things on her phone, watching videos, and he's sitting beside me and getting petted, and then he turns his little fluffy belly up and he gets his belly rubbed. And that's his favorite time, and he always tries to talk me into that, but I tell him I gotta get some other things done too sometimes. Yeah, you know, I'm sure like I said, my joke is, I think probably my guardian angel is the one in the corner face palming sometimes, standing there going, oh, what am I going to do with that girl? Because I have done some dumb stuff. I really have in my life. I have really pushed it. Yeah. Freedom Grower, I've heard of this. I'm pretty sure they've done it for me too. hmm I'm happy they left too, but this isn't one that I heard. You want to hear one of the most interesting ones? I thought it was really something. There was somebody, you know, making their way down the road, down the highway, and a deer suddenly jumped out in front of them. And you know that a buck, you slam into a buck, if it's one of those smaller cars, it's going to be totaled. And so it was like, oh my God, they watched as it went literally through the car, through the hood of their car. Not over, but through. And they kind of glanced at each other, and it continued on down its way. They glanced at each other, and did you see that? It looked like it went like right through the car. Yeah, I saw that. They were both aware enough to be able to admit that. Said, wow, that was a close one. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool, Freedom. They weren't going to let you go. They weren't going to let you do it. No. Yep. And so anyway, later they're having a little trouble with the car and they took it in for a checkup on what's wrong with the car. It's filled with deer fur. There's like shedded deer fur all through their motor, all through the underneath the hood of the car. They said, how the heck? And all they could think of was that time that the deer literally went through the car. How they did that, how that happened, nobody knows, but they had the deer fur in the car to prove that it happened to them. And they both thought of it at the same time. Oh my God, the deer really did go through the car, right? It went right through and left some fur on the way. Oh my God, how did that happen? Right. Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. I mean, it seemed like after a while I figured it out. I met my ex, and after that, everything was trying to kill me. It was like had all kinds of near death experiences, all kinds of them. It took me a long time to realize, because after I met him, he was the cursed object. Okay, he must have been because it was after I met him, started hanging around with him. So, but I had so many near death experiences with him. I don't know how they managed to save me from all of it. That, it's seriously, I don't know how I survived everything I did, except that I was supposed to. And, I guess they weren't going to let anybody kill me because I could tell you many stories like that. Many. After a while, I realized that it mostly started when I had started hanging around with him. Oh, well. Magic with a K. That's right. Magic with a K. That's right. It's kind I practice too. Somebody tried to tell me they didn't believe in all that voodoo stuff, and I said, I don't either. Well, it's not that I don't believe it exists. It's just I don't do it. I don't do voodoo. Voodoo relies on gods, relies on Yoruba gods. I don't rely on that. I don't need any of that. Once you realize that you are divine, you don't need any of that. So, and then people go, well, try to act like maybe I'm ungodly for saying that. The one they called Jesus, very famously, is reported to have said, "Know ye not that ye are gods and sons of gods?" Yeah, he said that. Boy, did that get me in all kinds of trouble in my Sunday school class. When I asked about that, oh my gosh, did that get me in trouble? I said, well, that means we're all gods and sons of gods, and I presume daughters. Oh my gosh, my soul needed saving, obviously. Again, my soul needed saving, obviously, a lot of times. They saved my soul several times. It just wouldn't take. I just kept thinking for myself. It was horrible. Oh, God. Yeah. There you go. Hath not God become man so the man could become God? That's the guy that you say you follow. He said that. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And unless you're willing to say that he's evil or something was wrong with that translation, then you've got to admit that maybe it's true. Hey, I tell you what, my battery's about to die. I may be back on, but it is already almost 11. And I've been on for nearly 2 hours. And I try to keep it about at 2 hours. I'm down to 5% battery. I really want to say I've enjoyed talking to you so much. The angel's back. Oh, wonderful. I hate to tell you, but that's not a reflection. I have a solid piece of wood behind me. There's no reflection. So maybe it is an angel behind. Yes. Okay. I'm on 5%. I'm on 3% now. I gotta go. But I love you. Once again, you are divine. You are co-creators and creators. You are in whole and in part. You are a part of God and you are God. Remember that. Know ye not that you're gods and sons of gods? Okay. And the truth is where you find it. Hope you're finding some on my show. Truth can be anywhere, especially right in front of your nose. You just have to be in the right frame of mind to see it. I love you all. I will be back. I'll charge up my phone. I will be back at some point, and we will have another talk again. Okay. Love you.